Welcome back to another Gotham breakdown discussion. This is where we kind of review the episode, reflect over the episode, and we talk kind of live. So today, let's get right into this, shall we? So the start of the episode started with what I predicted to be from the trailer, the Ra's al Ghul origin story. Sorry, a bit of noise in the background there. Basically, a little bit of origin. We might get more. I have a feeling we might get more of that in the future. You know, because it was a very brief, unexplained origin, flashback, if you will. So it was basically 120 something AD. Ra's was just lying there in the ground, dead, during some sort of battle. And some guy, I've had a few problems with this episode, even though it was very good. You know, the guy said to Ra's, so this is the guy, said, you know, straight away, as soon as he was resurrected and, like, saw the blade, he was just like, you know, you must find your heir like I found you. And I was just like, hold on a second, like, as soon as you become the new Ra's or Raz, you have to instantly find your heir for the next 2,000 years or so. I don't know how I felt about that. Like, you would have thought maybe that would come down the line. I don't know. But instantly, I don't know, and they didn't answer who that guy was. Was he the previous Ra's al Ghul? Was it kind of like an Arrow Ra's al Ghul thing where you can only be in the pit for so long, so we wanted to find his and what happened to him after that. But no, yeah, I thought it was really cool how they gave, you know, Ra's a bit of a ancient background flashback, but it was a bit weird in my opinion how they went straight into like, you need to find your heir now. It's like, I found my heir, you're my heir, but you need to find yours. I don't know how I felt about that straight away. Obviously, it gave incentive to like what's going on this season with Ra's al Ghul seeking out Bruce Wayne. But yeah, I don't know. I really liked how the whole Batman thing started off in the episode. It was so Master Bruce and Alfred style of like on the field. Like it totally flashed me forward in Gotham to like, you know, Alfred and Master B out there in the Batman armor, because you know he was just like, you know, Penguin's bringing in a new shipment, you know, there's a thief, and then Alfred's just like, oh my god, you know, who cares about the thieves and stuff like that, the thieves. No, but he was just like disagreeing with what Bruce had to say, but Bruce ignored Alfred and just went out anyway. And I just thought this was so, it's weird to say this, reminiscent of the future. Like, it's reminiscent of what we've all been watching with Alfred's relationship with Bruce. And that reminds me, in this episode as well, we got Bruce using his deception skills, or the start of his skills, and he even, you know, was putting on an accent. I just loved it. And in this episode as well, we got the start of the Bruce Playboy persona. Like, Alfred was the one who sort of gave that to me. It was like, you need to sort of be the rich brat, arrogant brat, like that your parents, you know, tried to not raise you to be, because now you're going down this vigilante path. You really need to distance yourself as much as you can to that. I thought that was great. I thought it was really cool, really cool. I was so happy with the Alfred and Bruce moments this season. It was just epic. We learned another thing this episode, guys, when Gordon went to Miami to meet with Falcone because he needs his help, because Penguin's taken over the city, and he thinks, you know, who's the one respected crime boss? He was still a crime boss, but kind of respected because he ruled stuff still in a good way. It's Carmine Falcone, and that's, why he wanted to seek him out. He went there, met Sofia Falcone, they had a little bit of a kiss. She came back with him to Gotham. But that reminds me, Carmine Falcone is dying. So maybe that character didn't want to join in on the future of the show. Maybe, you know, people were thinking that this might be Gotham's last season. I really don't know if this has got anything to do with that. But either way, Falcone is dying, which I'm very sad to hear about, because maybe it will be taken back if the seasons, you know, persist. But I kind of like the idea of Carmine Falcone being around when Bruce is Batman. I kind of don't like how he could be fading off before all that. But at the end of the day, this is like a parallel universe. Things don't have to happen exactly the way they traditionally do. Going back to like the whole Bruce and Alfred bit, it was, you know, interesting because Bruce was just like, you know, you're mad because I didn't listen to you, Alfred. And, you know, that massive cut he had on his hand, it's just like, that's going to leave a cool scar. And Bruce, you know, this is the, like, I don't know if it's the first, but that was quite a big whopping scar. And, you know, Bruce is going to get so many more like that, so he's going to build up quite a collection. So if you've seen Oliver Queen on Arrow, with the amount of scars he got during those 5 years in hell, Bruce is going to have even more, to be honest, because he's starting off even earlier. It was just, I just love the Bruce Alfred moments. Myrtle Jenkins, that was kind of funny. So Penguin got out of the ice. Penguin got out of the ice? Riddler got out of the ice this season. This episode, my words are getting so muffled. Myrtle Jenkins, she was very hilarious. I thought she might be like Echo and, you know, Riddler's lackeys from the comics. I thought she might be the first, you know, influence of that, or a proto version, or just maybe even, you know, Penguin's God damn it, Riddler's sidekicks. But no, we saw Zaz kill her this episode, which was another comedic moment from Zaz. He was like, I like your dress, but then boom. But, you know, because of being in ice, Riddler is, his muscles have atrophied a bit, so they've shrunken down and not as strong. He's completely scrambled. We knew about all of this anyway. Before Gotham Season 4 even aired, they said when Riddler actually gets out of ice, he's going to be a bit like, you know, he's not going to be the Riddler, essentially. And I didn't know how I felt about that initially, because I was like, they built him all the way up to be the Riddler. Now they're taking it away. But at the same time, you know, it doesn't make sense. He got frozen, for crying out loud. He's not good at answering riddles, but he will get back to it this season. But I just hope they don't rehash the storyline of last season all over again. So after the first course of this season, he finally gets his intellect back. He's the Riddler. Then he's got to go after Penguin in the second season. I hope it's not as, you know, just the samey as season 3 is that. I hope we're going to be surprised by more stuff. But yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be let down if, you know, we're just going to get the same Riddler versus Penguin every season. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with that. But let's move on to the actual auction. So Penguin was holding an auction for all the black market weapons that he's had, and amongst them, I don't know how, they didn't explain how the knife ended up really in his possession, but Barbara obviously wants it for Raish, and Bruce obviously wants it. He wants it because it was in the book where they found out that bloke who was floating was actually Ra's al Ghul, because we found that out in the trailer for episode 3 previously, that Ra's al Ghul was in that sort of ancient textbook or whatever. Because that drawing was like 2,000 years old, and we know how long ago that was in terms of Raish. It has actually been around for a few thousand years, possibly longer. So it was really interesting seeing, as I sort of briefly mentioned earlier, the whole Raish, Alfred sort of telling Bruce, you need to really, you know, you need to really act differently because you're going down this vigilante path. And we got the complete playboy Bruce, even though he's a bit young to be proper, like, you know, having women around his arms. He really did act up publicly in front of everyone. He was going like $200,000 and 1 cent and stuff like that, and he was really pissing off Barbara. That leads me on to the whole Selina and Bruce sort of connection this episode. Selina obviously found out that Bruce has the knife. She crept in, and that's where we got that other suit that she, you know, wardrobe change she had that resembles her future Catwoman, sort of plain sort of Catwoman vibe suit. But obviously Bruce blew her off, and it somehow got, well, Barbara told Ra's al Ghul that Bruce Wayne has a knife, and that made actually Ra's al Ghul pretty happy, because obviously this knife has something to do with passing down a knife between heir, like Ra's al Ghul heir to heir to heir to heir, because she was like, the guy at the beginning in the flashback said to Ra's, you need to find your heir now, when he pulled out that blade. So I'm guessing that is why this knife is going to Bruce, and Raish is actually kind of indirectly happy that Bruce has got the knife now. But this leads me to something that I wasn't necessarily happy about in the episode. Ra's al Ghul and Barbara are a thing. Obviously, he resurrected Barbara. That got confirmed, even though it was very obvious anyway. In the Lazarus Pit, he only meant her to be like this competent ally, you know, to do his bidding. But she's done very well. They were a thing. They were kissing, and, you know, or they're obviously mingling like that. So I would love to know what you guys think of that. What do you think of Barbara and Ra's al Ghul being an item? I was just like, what the hell? I know Barbara's this new original kind of character that they can explore and do all kind of. The showrunners said they can kind of go any direction they want. But I was like, Ra's al Ghul and Barbara, really? I know, like, they're not a proper love sort of affair thingy, and it will never be probably that serious, but I don't think it was needed. I just don't know. It is obviously just nothing special between Ra's al Ghul and Barbara, but I really don't feel like it blended well. I think I'll talk a bit about Sofia Falcone again. Go over her again. I'm really looking forward to her character. I thought that Crystal Reed killed it this episode. I think it's going to be really exciting to see Jim cross the ethical line this season, because they've already said with her influence and obviously her being a gangster and a Falcone, he's going to be doing, well, they're both going to be doing some things together that Jim wouldn't normally do. Well, you know, obviously cross the ethical line. So that's going to be really interesting to see. I think she absolutely killed it. I think she's going to be a very entertaining character this season. So I can't wait to see more from her. But I think that is everything. I think this episode was a good episode. I think there was a couple of problems with it. Hopefully, I think it's mainly just an issue with explaining a few things, like the Ra's al Ghul background origin story kind of thing. They didn't, you know, as soon as he got resurrected and that guy found his heir, which was, you know, our Ra's al Ghul, he was straight away just like, you know, you need to find your heir now. I thought that was a bit weird. There's a few other things that they just need to explain, you know, that they didn't explain in this episode, and I hope they're just not leaving to drift out in the wind, and rather than elaborate on it. I think this season still is going to be the best season completely. I think everything they've got going for it is going to be absolutely amazing. Thoughts on Poison Ivy? I don't think there's any Poison Ivy in this episode, but I actually personally kind of like what they're doing with her character. Some people complaining that's a bit rushed. But, you know, I'm personally okay if this potion gives her some powers. Thoughts on Jerome? Well, I don't really have any at the minute because, I mean, I know he's coming back later this season, but I don't think it'll be till just before the mid-season finale, or maybe, like last year, or maybe we might get him in the second half. Who knows? I'm hoping he will get more than 3 episodes, though. Thoughts on the Scarecrow last episode? Well, I'll just say in relation to what I think is going to happen in the future, but at least he's scattered out in the wind, meaning he might come back just like the Mad Hatter came back last season. Jalen, I don't know how I feel about Falcone dying. I mean, his appearance ran its course, sure, but at the same time, he's been a fixture to this show since the first season. I couldn't agree more. I want him to be around in the future. You know, when, as I said, when Bruce is Batman. So I completely feel you there. I'd like to have more question marks on Nigma's clothes, says Mr. Nigma. Yeah, I mean, that could be something that happens way into the future of Gotham, but not necessarily so early. We've already got the, you know, the green suit. Maybe we'll get. I'm hoping for. I think that might be a bit too much cheesiness for these days, but that's just me. Maybe they can make it work. Don't get me wrong; they could probably make it work with lots of little small ones. But I'm hoping for the cane personally, the actual Riddler cane. That would be really cool. I wonder how Ed will claim his hat back. Yes, he'll probably have to take it off Penguin himself when he gets his brain back. Essentially. Do you like Victor? Yes, I do. I really do like Victor. I'm glad they're making more use of him this season. I want more development rather than just supporting sort of actors. You know, what he's doing at the minute. He's just supporting the Penguin the whole time. Riddler's going to have a big arc with Lee and Grundy. He's going to be really good friends with Grundy. He's going to be... Even Lee's going to get wrapped up in that somehow. Jalen said, it kind of felt like the sexual tone Barbara and Thea had in Season 2 is very off-putting. Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like... Normally I wouldn't really care, but it's just, it was so random. Like, I didn't think it really suited Ra's al Ghul to be having such a fling with... I don't know. I guess it's new. They want to try new things. I respect that. But I just didn't think it was great. Isn't Solomon Grundy coming this season? Yes, I think it will be happening very, very soon. So I think possibly next episode. Because it's practically, they said it's practically the first person Riddler runs into after he gets out of ice. So I think that is going to be next episode. Thoughts on the Riddler? Well, I kind of briefly spoke about Riddler early on in this live stream. But yeah, I found it interesting how he can answer anything. He's getting pretty frustrated. But we all knew this was coming anyway, as I said earlier. Just in terms of when he gets out of ice, he's going to be a bit scrambled. And I just hope they don't carry on once he gets his riddles and intellect back, so to speak. You know, just the same. Oh, I'm going to go after Penguin now. And Oswald's like, oh, I can't let Ed win, so it's just going to be a bit, you know. Jalen, am I the only one who doesn't trust Barbara to be with Tabitha again? I think she might do something shady to plot against her later on. I completely agree. I think I said something like this last time. Now Barbara's, you know, obviously bathed in the Lazarus pit. I've noted down, like, you know, her monotone voice. She's really like, oh, hello, Selina. You know, she's not the typical Barbara Keene, voice. She's very like, it's like, you know, it's like since she went in the pit, a bit of her soul's gone. So maybe, I don't know, they haven't really explained that on the show if they're going to do that. Who knows? But she's definitely different. I don't trust the whole gun thing either. I think she's definitely got an agenda. I think Ra's al Ghul might, you know, obviously she wanted the knife, but as far as what Ra's cares about her interaction with Tabitha and Selina, that's a whole different story. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely think she's up to something else. Yes, there is. There is a new detective. I remember that getting tweeted out yesterday before the episode. They haven't, I personally, I don't think we know too much about this detective in terms of what her role's going to be, how she's going to play. I got a feeling she might die already. She just seems like she might only get a bit of screen time throughout the season and then just croak, but who knows. I think she looks cool though. I'm definitely looking forward to her story. When is Lee coming, Boba? I don't know. I think fairly soon, because she was spotted filming quite early into the Fight Club's scenes. So I think it really won't be long at all. Maybe in the next 2 or 3 episodes, tops. Thank you to all those who have joined this live stream, and to all those who are watching it afterwards. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can follow me on social media, as you guys already are probably aware, in the description below, or it's popping up on the screen. I don't know which side it's popping up on right now. But apart from that, everybody, thank you so much for watching this stream or video. It's so hard to figure it out. And I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be my Gotham promo breakdown for episode 4. Expect that tomorrow, to be honest, because I probably won't have time to make it for the rest of today. But as I said, guys, hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.